Greetings, Swangolians, and welcome back to Swango. This is the OG Bird, and today we've got our new patch notes. Dun, 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 dun. The September 4th patch, the multiplayer update 4, has been released, which is the precursor to the new Armored Kill add-on that will be available to premium members on the 11th, and to everybody else, I believe, is on the 25th. However, those PS3 guys got it today, and the reason why they got it before everybody else is because they were supposed to get the 1943 along in their exclusive premium purchase, and they didn't get it, and so this is to make up for that. They're giving them the Armored Kill first. So, we will get it in 7 days, and I'm looking forward to it. It looks awesome. But today we're going to be going over the patch notes, some pretty exciting stuff. When we got the April patch, I think I'm not alone here, we all pretty much thought in the beginning, the first day or two, first couple of days, that Battlefield was broken and couldn't be played anymore because they completely changed the entire game. Just from top to bottom, weapons, vehicles, just everything. But this one I am very optimistic about. It looks great. There's some exciting things happening in here, and we're going to go over them bit by bit. I got these from Battlelog. You can check it out for yourself. The link should be in the description below, or you can just go to battlelog/news and find the patch release notes yourself. However, we are going to be going over these, and so let's get started. Now, the first thing we have here is the weapons balancing, and what they did is they made some reload timer adjustments. A number of weapons have had their reload timers adjusted to better fit their animations and gameplay balance. For most of these weapons, the gameplay timers were slightly out of sync with the actual reload animation, meaning the player could either fire before the animation was done or had to wait longer than the animation played. Primarily, this is a cosmetic change around 0.1 seconds. However, for a few weapons, the M416, the F2000, the FAMAS, the KH2002, the MK3A1, the JNG90, the MG36, the QBU88, and the SVD, Pachang, Scar H, and the AN94, this should also improve the performance of this weapon. Now, in case you don't know, there is a short and a long reload time. So when your clip when you just spent a couple of bullets out of your clip, you still have ammo left in your clip, you reload. That reload is your short reload time. It's very short. If you are completely out of ammo and have to completely replace the clip, that is your long reload time. So this is what they're talking about. So the short and long reload have been reduced on the Scar L, the AEK 971, the F2000, the AN94, the AK74, the PP2000, the G3A3, the SKS, the MG36, the GNG90, the MK3A1, the Scar H, the SVD, and the QBC95B. Now, the long reload has been reduced on the AUG-3, the 44 Magnum, the KH2002, the Pachang, the L85A2, the QBB95, the M1911, and the MP7. The short reload has been reduced on the M417, the FAMAS, the M39, the M416, the PP19, and the QBU88. Now, the short and long reload has been increased on the VAL, the AS VAL. The long reload has been reduced and the short reload increased on the M4A1. And the long reload has been increased on the P90. So those are the reload changes that they've made. Now there is a few damage output range adjustments that they have made to the weapons, and they continually do this. It looks like we're going back to prior to the April patch, which is what we all used to play on and loved. And it looks like they're going more towards that. So they went a little too far in that last patch, and now they're reeling everything back to closer to where we started. So the UMP has increased the close range damage of the UMP, but reduced its damage over range. The UMP now has a sweet spot in CQB. CQB means close quarters battle, but suffers compared to the PP2000 at longer ranges. Now, the PP2000 has increased the long-range damage to highlight its role as a mid-range, low-recoil personal defense weapon, PDW. Now, the M1911 increased the minimum damage of the M1911 straight out. Now, the M93, they've reduced the M93R's damage and range. Its recoil has been reduced for a smoother burst action to counter for the reduced damage. Now the 12-gauge frag rounds, these rounds have been adjusted to do their damage in a smaller area to be more consistently apply the maximum possible damage. And then we have AA, slightly increased the damage of the AA against infantry. The AA was simply over-nerfed in the previous update. The AA guns now also properly do damage to MBTs. MBT meaning main battle tank. Now the 12 gauge buckshot close range damage has been slightly increased, and slightly reduced the range penalty for the suppressor on the Scar H. Now, they have also increased the bullet velocity for the coaxial HMG heavy machine gun, making it easier to hit targets over long ranges. Now, they've increased the maximum damage of the 40mm flechette and tightened the cone for more consistent damage levels. They've also slightly reduced the range bonus added by the heavy barrel on the 5.56, 5.45, and the 6.5mm assault rifles. Now, this pretty much means all of them except for the G3A3, which uses a 7.62mm round. So they've also slightly reduced the range penalty for the suppressor on the 5.56, 5.45, and 6.5mm weapons, AR, carbine, and LMGs. They've also slightly reduced the range penalty for the suppressor on the Scar H. They've also increased the damage of the M5K. Now, a select set of weapons have had their recoil adjusted based on joint community feedback and statistical analysis to provide greater balance in the weapon choices players make. Specifically, the M16A3 and M4A1 have increased recoil to make them less attractive in all situations. Competing weapons like the SG553, G36C, and the M416 have been improved to also increase viable player choice in primary weapons. Now, what this means is they're tired of everybody using the M16A3 and the M4A1. That's essentially it. Because those weapons are really, really, really good all-around weapons. And so they have increased the recoil on these so that you will select some other weapons. So they're just trying to even it out. They want people to use a much more diverse range of weapons. Here is what we have. We have the SG553 horizontal recoil reduced to help make this weapon more controllable. The MG36 vertical recoil has been reduced to make this weapon more controllable. The M416 vertical, horizontal, and first shot recoil have all been reduced to make this different from the M16A3. Now the M16A3 recoil amounts have been slightly increased, as well as the M4A1. The G36C vertical and first shot recoil amounts have been reduced. M16A4 and the M4, these weapons have been adjusted for the increased recoil they now have. Burst versions of these weapons give the player a reduction in horizontal recoil for greater control. Now, I'm not sure if they mean if you just burst it while in full auto, or if you actually have to switch the setting to burst to get that type of control, but we will find out. So they have also made some other miscellaneous weapon changes. The FIM-92 and the IGLA, which is the Stinger and the Sigla, now lock onto air vehicles at both lower altitudes and longer distances. Now this is exciting because we can start using these again. Before they changed it in April, people were using them quite often, and because you could actually shoot down an aircraft, and now you pretty much can't. I've even said so in my previous videos regarding the Sigla and the Stinger missiles both, that they don't really work unless you're using them in tandem with teammates to get them in between their countermeasures. So now they have made these apparently easier to lock onto. Again, we're recoiling back to prior to the April patch. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to try it out and see what happens. They've also added a burst fire mode to the M5K and increased the bonuses provided by a number of bipods. Now the F2000, the G3A3, the M27, the M416, the Pachang, the Type 88, the FAMAS, and the MG36 all get increased bonuses by using their bipods now. Now, belt-fed machine guns are now more accurate when standing and firing while aiming. So if you're standing looking down sights, you are now getting a much more accurate shot. Now, this affects the M240, the M249, the Type 88, the Pachang, and the LSAT. I currently don't like the LSAT, but we will see if they have changed it. I'm excited to see if that gun is going to start being a viable gun in the game now. As well as the 249. I used to use the 249 a lot, and it just seemed to be a little bit out of control when not bipoded, and I'm glad to see that they've made this change. Now the 44 Magnum rate of fire has been reduced slightly to highlight the sidearm's role as a slow-firing heavy hitter and differentiate it from the MP412 Rex. They've increased the fire rate and reload time of the Rex to better highlight the improved CQB performance of the 44 Magnum. Now they removed the burst fire from the L85 and added a single shot to the L86, as this is authentic for these weapons. They have slightly increased the radius for the maximum damage of the 40mm slugs, while the overall damage level remains the same. They've also increased the aimed accuracy bonus of the ACWR, the L86, the LSW, the LSAT, MP5K, and MTAR with a suppressor. Weapon fixes. Now, underslung weapons on the AUG and SCAR L now properly benefit from the hipfire accuracy bonus of an attached laser sight. So now, apparently we weren't getting that. So now when you actually put on the laser sight and hipfire, you're going to be getting the benefit of that bonus. The SOFLAM will no longer lock onto your own vehicle if deployed and not immediately activated by a player. The SCAR L fixed the heavy barrel not increasing recoil when zoomed and standing. Corrected some incorrect descriptions of the clip sizes and bullet types for the weapons added in close quarters, specifically the M5K, the LSAT, and ACWR. So those descriptions have been fixed. The PKS 07 is now available on the QBB95, so now you have that ×7 magnification. The M417's foregrip was incorrectly reducing horizontal recoil by too large of an amount. It has been adjusted to be balanced with the other foregrips. Thank God, because the M417 seemed to be a little cheap. The ACR foregrip, MG36, QBB95, and RPK extended magazines, as well as the RPK and SKS heavy barrel, are now able to be unlocked and equipped in the accessory screen. Thank you, Jesus, because I used to use the RPK with an extended clip, and they took it off. And now it's just not worth me using it. But now that it's back, you will see me using the RPK a little bit more often. They also fixed an issue with the incorrect damage for the M320 Buck when used with certain attachments. And the MK3A1 now uses flechette rounds instead of frag rounds in Gunmaster mode in close quarters. Thank you, because I hated that gun in close quarters Gunmaster. Alright, so some good things have been happening now. Now we're going to get into the vehicle-related tweaks and fixes. Now some of these are huge. The one at the very top of the list is ginormous. They have removed flares from the gunner position in helicopters. That's right. If you are in the gunner seat, you no longer have a countermeasure. Apparently, people were having trouble shooting down choppers that had double countermeasures. I fly around like that in tandem with my friends and my squad mates. I understand what they're talking about. I don't know how much I'm going to like it because I love flying in the choppers, but I'm going to get a shot down a lot more now since they've increased the range on the Siglas and Stinger missiles, and now I have one less countermeasure to get away from that. So I'm not sure how this is going to work out. What you do have now in that slot is zoom and thermal optics. Those are the two available options you have where flares used to be. Now we have air radar now shows friendly vehicles as well. Thank you. How hard was that? Helicopter weapons can now destroy equipment with splash damage. Thank God. Now what this means, if you've ever been in a chopper, you've been flying around and you see that SOFLAM marking you and you go to shoot it, if you don't get a direct hit on that little teeny binocular size equipment, then it just stays there. It was impossible to hit. I mean, literally, you would have your gunner jump out of the chopper, go down, kill the thing, and then get back in the chopper and take off. It was that difficult to kill it. So now what they're saying is with the helicopters, the splash damage, if you get close enough, will destroy this equipment. Thank you, Jesus. The laser designator unlock on the Scout helicopter has been changed from a pilot upgrade to a new stance in the co-pilot seat, position number 4. Like the CITV turret on the main battle tanks, the Scout helicopter's laser designator is permanently available to players who have received the unlock. That means that when you are a pilot in the Scout helicopter, you no longer have a laser designator upgrade option available to you anymore. If you have it unlocked, it'll be available to the seat number 4, and that person will get the laser designation perks because currently that seat was useless. You couldn't do anything. You could hardly spot anybody in that seat. So now that player in that seat gets the laser spot designations on his own as long as it's been unlocked. We have the repair tool damage against enemy vehicles has been lowered by 10%. Now I get that. Now it's not going to take, 3 seconds, 4 seconds to destroy a tank with your repair tool. It's going to take just a little bit longer. And that seems fine to me. That seems fair. They've changed the reload behavior on the tank and tank destroyer cannon weapons to prevent being able to fire 2 shots from different weapons quickly, one right after another. I get this too. It didn't make very much sense that you could fire, quickly switch to your next weapon and fire. So it's almost like a dual burst. So you only have to aim once, shoot twice kind of thing. So they've put some type of buffer of time in between changing weapons and firing. Firing mode can now be seen from the vehicle passenger seats where you're allowed to fire your own weapons. They've also fixed the hit indicator showing up when entering a vehicle after previously shooting a soldier. They've increased the damage helicopter and jet rockets due to helicopters, jets, and infantry. They've increased the damage helicopter gunners and IFVs due to helicopters and jets. IFVs meaning infantry fighting vehicles. And they've also fixed jets not getting top attack damage bonuses on laser designated targets. Now we're going into persistence related tweaks and fixes. They've changed how MCON stations defend attack kill score is calculated. Victim no longer needs to arm or disarm the crate, but rather be in a 5-meter radius of the crate. Also increased kills needed for the crate defend ribbon from 2 to 4. Overall, these changes should make it somewhat easier to get the ribbon while increasing the opportunity for strategic play around MCON stations. Premium engineer assignments are now counting all shotgun kills independent from the class using it. So there you go, guys. If you're having trouble getting that unlock, it is now fixed. They've also fixed so you can get score from awards in co-op. Accuracy dog tags now show the correct stats. Co-op stars and dog tags are now properly unlocked and equipable. Gunmaster and Domination winner ribbons and medals have been added. And a fix for assignment with multiple dependencies showing as unlocked in the front end, i.e. Jack of all trades and only for the dedicated, meaning that you have to unlock a couple other dog tags before you can even start working on this one, and they've now fixed that. They have made some UI related tweaks and fixes, UI meaning user interface. They've added letters to the capture point icons displayed directly over the minimap. So now in the previous video where I was showing you those triangles located in your game information HUD on the minimap to the left of your screen, now those diamonds actually have the letters in them. So there will be absolutely no confusion of what diamond is what. They fixed the grenade counter acting strangely when entering a vehicle with a grenade in hand. They've also fixed the damage indicator, which showed the wrong direction if the damage dealer was dead. Now, I hated that one. I'm glad they fixed that. They fixed the hit indicator showing when spawning or closing in the game menu. They fixed a bug where the clan tag sometimes shows as the player ID. They've added clan tags in name tags and the kill card. They've fixed so Comoros VO works when sitting in the AA vehicle. They've fixed so you can get the critical health full screen color tint while in post-revive state. They removed the join button in the server list for non-premium users on a premium exclusive server. They fixed so the spawn menu always disappears when you are revived. Thank you. Bug fixed the colorblind objectives showing the wrong icons and blinking with a black background. Fixed MCON distance not updating if a user moves towards it with the EOD bot. And mortar strike explosions are now shown on the HUD for the shooter. That's kind of nice. Wonder what that's going to look like. Now we also have miscellaneous tweaks and fixes. So they fixed so the MAV gadget will not remain floating in midair if the user exits it while still flying. They fixed a bug where it is possible to shoot while transitioning from sprint into prone. Thank you. Fixed so you can't revive a player who has switched teams since he died. And fixed 2 exploits on Danyu Fortress that allow players to get to the top of the level. And we have fixed bug where you could get an incorrectly calculated longest headshot with the EOD bot. And the PS3, Xbox 360 specific added map rotation settings to preset list and detailed server info. Players can now see all relevant settings that are being run on the server. This is super awesome. This means that now we'll know what the actual ticket count is. Just because it says 200% tickets doesn't actually mean that. But now we can actually go into the server description, scroll down to the bottom where it says ticket percent and see which percent is actually on, so we will be prepared for the game that we actually want to play. Now, along with this patch has come some, for those premium members out there, you have 5 new assignments. 5 new assignments are as followed. You have Armored Superiority. Your objectives are to get 50 kills in MBTs. Your rewards, Armored Superiority Dog Tag. Then we have Mechanized Infantry. Your objective, 50 kills in IFVs. Your rewards, Mechanized Infantry Dog Tag. Then we have Get to the Chopper. Get to the Choppa, sorry. Objectives, 50 kills with the Scout or attack helicopters, and destroy 25 MDTs with the Scout or attack helicopter. Rewards, Get to the Choppa Dog Tag. Then we have Maverick. Objectives, 50 kills with jets, and 25 destroy attack or scout helicopters with jets. Your rewards, the Maverick Dog Tag. And then we have Need a Ride. Objectives, 50 kills in jeeps, boats, quads, or transport helicopters, and 50 squad driver assists. this will give you the Need a Ride dog tag. Now when the armored kill comes out, we will have some new assignments for that as well, and I have those already. We have Explosive Danger. The objective is to get 15 kills with the tank destroyer, and your reward will be the Cannon HE. Then we have Need Repair. Your objective is to repair 20 vehicles, and your reward is an extinguisher. Then we have Wired Attack. This is an exciting one. Objectives: destroy 10 tank destroyers and destroy 1 mobile artillery, and your reward is the tow missile, which if you've watched the armored kill video, you've seen the guy just destroying with the tow missile. That's going to be fun. Then we have Rocket Specialist. Objective: get 10 kills with mobile artillery. Rewards is the air burst missile. And then we have, finally, Anti-Air Support. Objectives: get 15 kills in the gunship, and your reward is the anti-air missile. Now that wraps it all up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it on Facebook, Twitter, to all your friends, get it around. Happy gaming.